This is the video tutorial for practice 10B, photo filters. Now you can see by looking at the tab, this image is in RGB mode. You want your image to be in RGB when you're working with filters. If it were in CMYK, when we go to the filter menu and come down here to take a look at some, a bunch of these would be grayed out. So if they're ever grayed out when you're working on a project, change your image to RGB and they will become available. Working with filters, it's always a good idea to make a duplicate of the image that you're changing so you can always come back to the original. So I'm going to do that now by pushing Command J to make a duplicate of the background. And then go to the filter menu and choose Filter Gallery. I'm going to resize my window so you can see all of it. Here it gives you a preview of what the effect will look like, and you can pan around that by clicking and dragging, or you can even zoom out with these little plus and minus signs down in the bottom if you want to see more of the image. So over here to the right in this first column we have a bunch of folders, and these are categories of styles. So if we take a look at the first one and click on Colored Pencil, it applies this style to the picture, and over on the column further it has some different settings that you can play with. So if you want the pencil width to be wider, the stroke pressure more, paper brightness less, more, there we go, that's starting to look a little more manageable. Anyway, you play with the different settings until it gets about where you want it. And anytime you want to check out a new one, a new a new style, just click on the thumbnail and it will render. Now, depending on the resolution of the image that you're working with, this may look better or worse. So the image we're working with is about 15 inches at 72 dpi per inch. If you get much less than that, then the details tend to get globby. So a lot of these work better with higher resolution photos. If it's a really high resolution photo, the rendering time can be really slow. So it's just one of those things you have to play with. There's artistic, there's brushstroke. Stylize is pretty much useless. Sketch I rather like. If you choose stamp, it will use whatever your foreground color is set to, and then when you play with the dark light balance, maybe the smoothness, you can get kind of a rubber stamp effect, and that's kind of fun and also fairly useful. Some of these I have never found a use for. Some of them are pretty cool. Some of them work better or worse depending on the picture. So go ahead and flip through and find these and play with them. When you find one that you like, click OK, and it will change that layer to have that effect. So if I turn my eyeball on and off on that layer, you can see the original one again. If you want to try out more, just simply click on your background layer, duplicate it again, Command J, and go back to your filter menu, choose Filter Gallery again, and that will bring up the filter gallery again.